Hello, this is Van Wentz from Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Cleveland Browns. No matter what the record shows, this will always be a Browns town, and I'll always be a Browns fan.
It's funny. I used to draw from comic books. I used to draw cartoons a lot. When we were little, I used to draw in the kitchen. Mom's washing dishes, cooking. My dad used to be playing Miles in the background. And I needed to be around that to feel the energy. The noise from the outside and in the kitchen. And then when my dad had all the jazz and the music going on, in the other room. And I need to feel that energy, and one day I did a real nice drawing of a cartoon out of a comic book. My mom thought it was exceptional.
Kept them folded up ever since we left, was down in the projects. Mm-hmm. These are the ones that I saved.
Did you see it?
Yes, that's your dad.
Then one day, I guess someone told her about an artist, Frank Frazetta. And I was inspired by him the moment I saw his books. And my mom, she went out and bought issue 1, 2, and 3, Frank Frazetta. It wasn't until I opened that book up when I realized, bam, that's what I wanted to do. That artist inspired me so much. It's the reason why I'm still here today, doing what I love to do. Now, although I'm not an oil painter, but I do work those pencils. Let's get a close-up on this one. 10, 11 years old. Can you believe it? I still have it. Oh my God, look at the detail in that. Man, I was learning back then the vocabulary of muscles, learning the anatomy. And I was learning anatomy from his drawings, not from anatomy books. That's when I knew I had it. That's when I knew that, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it inspires me today to know how far I've come and how far I need to go. But that's the inspiration that I needed when I'm using it, and I'm still using it. And I love what I do. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's important to know that even though you may not understand everything about even yourself, but what motivates you most is what you love to do. And you surround yourself with anything that your mind can capture. And for me, that's what did it. And I'm lucky enough to have volume 1, 2, and 3 of the great Frank Frazetta. So there you have it. The man who inspired me to be the artist that I am today. And I'm hoping that when you see my work and you see this video, you too will be inspired to do the same. I want to share with you about how my style of work originated. It all started when I was watching an old Western cowboy flick with my dad when I was in my teens. It was a Clark Gable movie called The Painted Desert. I believe it was his first. But there was something that was intriguing about Clark Gable. Might have been his mannerism, his style of acting. But as I began to follow up on his career, the more I enjoyed his movies. He became my favorite actor. But what was most intriguing was how they made movies back then. The cinematography, the rich but softness that was captured by those cameras, that's what I picked up on. And I picked up on it very quickly. And I wanted to challenge myself to see how close I could come to one of those movies, to one of those photos of the 30s and 40s.
Being a fan of the golden era taught me to value not only the way they made movies back then, but how they were portrayed. Pure elegance. You know, I often see a lot of artists today use all kinds of tools, whether it be brushes, highlight, erasers, you name it, it's being used. Me, on the other hand, I want to stay close to my gift. Pencils I like because I have more control over the outcome. Oils can get away from you. With pencils, I can get hyper-realistic. And the closer you get, the more realistic it is. But with oils, you can't. With oils, the further back you are, the more realistic it becomes. You know, I think pencils sometimes, they don't get the proper respect. Maybe it's because it's portrayed as being boring. Maybe it's because it's being black and white. For me, I just think that I have an ability to capture color, even in black and white. And that's why I love pencils. As a young artist coming up, I wanted to be different from all the rest. Different from what I used to see other artists do. So I came up with creating things in my drawings that weren't there in the actual photos. For example, there was a piece I did on Miles Davis, my favorite jazz musician, where I took a young Miles playing his trumpet and then using an older Miles in the background with that signature glaring look. And to be honest, I was doing stuff like that before Photoshop was popular. And one of my favorites, the legendary Quincy Jones. I always enjoyed his music coming up. He has written or produced some of the greatest hits, like working on Michael Jackson's Thriller album or What's Going On, and one of my favorites, Killer Joe. And when I created a drawing of him, I really wanted to create something special, something that no one has ever done before. And I did just that. A combination of rare photos that has never been used in a drawing this particular way. I've done that. You have your classic Quincy Jones of today with that classic pose in the background. Then that vintage Q with the cashmere coat and vest. And to top it all off, a rare 17-year-old Quincy with the trumpet and the cigarette barely hanging from his lips. That's part of what I do. I can create stories from anything that I see from photos or movies. The imagination is a powerful thing. The way a portrait can follow you across the room and watch you, now see, that would be amazing. Being able to capture something and make it speak to you in such a way that the conversation is endless. And that's where my technique originated. That era, I truly believe that's what sets my style and technique from all the rest. So much that it doesn't even need a signature. It has its own unique way of letting you know it's truly a Van Wentz. You need family. You know, you need family just to rest your head on through all the trials and tribulations of life on the outside. You gotta have family. I need my family in ways which you never believe. You know, after working so hard, countless hours, wee hours in the morning, you know, and you can wake up and take a break from all the hard work and have breakfast with your family. You need support in your family, someone who believes in you a lot. Not that you hang your hat on everything, but family's important. Getting away, doing things on the outside, amusement parks, you know, going to dinner, lunch, taking a stroll in the park, you know, checking out the sights, going to your favorite art museum like I do. Family plays a big part in all my work. There was a time when I was working on a wildlife piece, and I was stuck on how I wanted to display the angle. Confused and frustrated, I glanced over to my right, and there was my son staring at me, focused on me while I worked like I've never seen before. So I grabbed him up, placed him on my lap, and we drew a few sketches, and bam, that's how Maximus was created. My Black Panther with that laser-like focus. I captured that idea from my son looking at me, the way the panther may have been looking at his prey. So ideas come from anywhere at any time, depending on the mood from anyone. I'm inspired by so many things in life. Everything about life has given me the creative juices that enables me to transform my God-given talents onto paper. It's a gift. Nothing's impossible if you want it bad enough. So continue to dream big and have goals. That's what my parents always taught me. One day, I'll have my work in a museum, maybe a few around the world, in office buildings, hospitals, major corporations, my own clothing line, my own brand of pencils. How about that? Maybe my logo on cologne fragrances. There's no limit on what you can achieve if you work hard and never, ever stop believing. For me, I'm going for everything. Life is just too short to be playing small.